Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this video it will be another story time with a Fortnite death run in the background. Full warning, there is a lot of lag in this particular game of Fortnite. But nonetheless I still completed it. So the first story that we have today is about me and my cousins yet again. I was over at their house. They live a lot more south than where I live. So I was down at their house, and while I was down at their house, we were biking around, and we were biking back to their house down a pretty steep hill. Now, while we were biking down this hill, the interesting part was we weren't really pedaling because it was so steep. And my cousin DJ was right next to me talking to me, and my cousin Olivia was behind us. And he says to me, because he had just bought the new bike, so it was a new bike, and he goes, "Hey, I wonder if the brakes work." So he squeezed both brakes on his handles, and immediately the bike came to a stop. And Olivia, flying down the hill, smacked into the back of him, started weaving out of control, and eventually flipped over her bike and then slid down the road. It was funny but not funny at the same time. My cousin DJ, perfectly fine. Didn't even fall off his bike. Do I know how? No. But it was funny nonetheless because he still tried to make a case for himself. I'm like, oh, I was just checking the brakes, and she was so upset for good reason. She was like, "What the heck are you doing?" Freaking out. She was like, "I cannot believe you just literally tested your brakes while I was right behind you." And he was like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about it." And it was really funny. Of course, they both knew that it was an accident, but nonetheless, it was still an accident that could have been avoided. So it was an accident, but it was nonetheless pretty funny. So after they were done with their argument, we put the chain back on Olivia's bike because it was broken. And then we eventually got home, where we told the story to her parents, my aunt and uncle, and they were in shock that DJ would do that, because DJ is very smart. He gets straight A's, very, very smart. But none of us could understand why he did that. So eventually it was just deemed that he was not thinking, which is very rare for him. So, yeah, nonetheless, our entire family was surprised, but funny, not funny, still kind of lives in that state. This is not that long ago. It was probably last summer. So, yeah, that's the first story. The second story is a cabin mishap while I was up at their cabin. Most stories will include my cousins. Some won't, but most will. So we were up at my cousin's cabin for my cousin's birthday, my Olivia's birthday. And while we were up there, we took their pontoon and we were driving around the lake and whatever, and it was fun time. And my grandma was on the boat with my younger sister, who was 1 at that time. And while we were on the boat, I believe it was my uncle, if I remember correctly, was coming up to where it became more shallow, because they lived in almost like a cul-de-sac off the lake, like a lake, little piece of the lake that bumped out. So getting over there, we had to go under a bridge in a little stream to get there, and it gets a lot more shallow. So if you're going too fast, you'll hit the sandbars. So you have to go slow. And he kind of forgot that he had to slow down, so he slammed on the brakes and started going slow a little bit too quickly. And the front end of the pontoon dove into the water and almost sunk the boat. So while the front end of the boat was covered in water, my grandma, who was sitting closer to the front, started freaking out and screaming and holding my sister, who was just a little baby, and she was like, "Ah!" And it was really funny, because it was a little bit scary, but we were not close to sinking. It was just maybe the front 5 to 10 feet, so we were fine. But it was really funny after it was done, but at the time it was really, really, really scary. Um, the last story that I have today is not so much a funny one, but kind of just a cool one, almost. So me and my cousin DJ, when we went on a cruise, so we went on a cruise. It was a seven day cruise. We went on this January of 2019, and one night we went out of our rooms at about midnight, and everybody was sleeping. The hallways were quiet, and we walked down to the jazz lounge, is what they call it, and it had piano and like bars and like all these lounge chairs, and everybody sat there, and it was quiet, and that was just what happened there, and it was so peaceful and calm, and we went out, and it had this great big window on the back of the boat, and you could watch out the back of the boat and watch the waves from the motors just flow out. And it was facing the moon, and it was just such a cool sight, and we laid there for 2 hours and then eventually fell asleep. We woke up at 5 in the morning and went back to our rooms. But it was a really peaceful experience. Another thing with the cruise, we were scheduled for laser tag. So they had laser tag on like the top deck of the cruise, which was really cool. We were scheduled like 3 times to go to laser tag, and it either rained out or they canceled it because they had another group or whatever, so it was very upsetting. And my family is very passionate. So eventually, with all of my family being there, they got upset and went full Karen on these people and freaked out at them, and then we got our laser tag game for free. But yeah, it was just really, it was crazy. But the coolest part, I feel like, out of the cruise, for some reason, I don't know why it was so cool, was when we saw a movie in the movie theater, and it was the new Jurassic World movie. It was like the newest one. It was right when it came out, and we went and watched it, and it was crazy because it was 3D, and they gave you like remotes, I don't know, and you could adjust the 3D for your glasses. They were like battery glass, I don't even know. It was crazy. So, because we like booked a separate time so that we could go in there by ourselves, and they gave us all like unlimited popcorn, bunch of candy, drinks, whatever, and we watched it. And this was like right when it came out, like the day it came out, and it was just so cool to get to see it like on opening day with all this nice stuff. So yeah, other than that, I mean, oh, I do have another story actually. Again, on the cruise, we were on an island in, where was it? Tortuga? No, Tortola, sorry. Don't count on me to remember the names of the islands. Tortola, and it was kind of a low wave day. We were kind of just chilling on the beach, and down the beach line, we saw this massive inflatable obstacle course on the water. And we thought about it, and we were like, let's go check it out and see what's up. It was $40 a person for 2 hours. And my aunt paid for me and my 3 cousins to go on there, and it was awesome. It was so fun going on all the stuff. And yet still the best part was they had this pillar, like this like climbing wall, and up at the top there was a platform, and it was probably, and this is an inflatable thing, so it's not hard. And we were all sitting up there for probably like, I don't know, 10 minutes roughly. And while we were sitting up there, my 2 cousins, who are siblings, got into an argument. Surprise, surprise. And my younger cousin, as like a joke, knowing she wouldn't hurt him, pushed my older cousin, who's like 6 feet tall. He's a big guy, and she pushed him off of the top of the pillar into the water, and he fell a good 20 feet and then landed like neck first on his back into the water. He didn't say anything. He didn't look at us. He just stood up and swam back to shore, and that was it. Then I was up on top of like a smaller pillar, and it had stairs, like little steps going up to it. And while I was up there, I was standing there, and my other two cousins started shaking it. And I thought I was good, and then I hit a little slippery spot, slipped, fell all the way down the stairs into the water. And then my other cousin was walking along close to the same platform, and there was probably not even a foot space in between the two, like, inflatable posts that were going horizontally down right on the water. And she slipped on the first step, and she went butt first into that little opening, and she folded like a pretzel and just went thoop, right into the thing. And I was amazed she didn't break anything. It was crazy. But yeah, so that's my cruise story with the bike wipeout, the cabin mishaps, all the different things. If you like these storytime videos, let me know in the comments. I can do more of them. I don't have any super long stories, but other than that, I'm almost done with this death run here. But I was lagging very bad. It's a good thing I didn't record my audio for that. I was very upset. I was in here with my younger cousin. His name's Carter. His channel will be in the description. But, oh, I was upset because I just couldn't. I usually complete this death run in about roughly 16 minutes, and this time it took me closer to 30. And I was just struggling on top of the fact that I was lagging, and it was a rough time. But I didn't want to do it again for better footage. So I kept this footage. But other than that, I think that's all I got. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other videos you want me to see or want to see, and I'll make them. And then let me know in the comments if you enjoy these type of videos more, or the Minecraft videos, or Rocket League, or what other games you want to see. So yeah, don't forget all the fun stuff. I know I've said it like 6 times, but I gotta make sure that you know. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff, and I will catch you guys in the next one. You can finish the death run if you want. That's all that's gonna be playing. It's just the last level, which is about 20 seconds. So I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.